The Mysterious Incident of the Dancing Plague of 1518, a deep dive into history's strangest epidemic. In the summer of 1518, the city of Strasbourg, part of the Holy Roman Empire, modern-day France, witnessed one of the strangest and most perplexing outbreaks in human history, the Dancing Plague. Over the course of several weeks, hundreds of people began dancing uncontrollably in the streets, many of them collapsing from exhaustion, suffering strokes, or even dying from heart attacks. The plague seemed to arise suddenly and disappeared just as mysteriously, leaving behind no clear explanation. A timeline of events. July 1518, a woman known as Frau Trophea stepped into a street in Strasbourg and began dancing uncontrollably. Within days, more people joined in, with reports suggesting dozens or even hundreds were affected. Authorities' response: local officials, believing that the afflicted were suffering from an imbalance of bodily humors, encouraged the dancing, going so far as to hire musicians and clear spaces for the dancers. August 1518, the dancing continued, with people moving involuntarily for hours or days on end. September 1518, the epidemic faded, and the afflicted either stopped or were taken to a shrine dedicated to Saint Vitus for healing. This event remains one of the most well-documented yet unexplained mass hysteria events in history. But why did it happen? What could possibly cause hundreds of people to dance to their deaths? To fully understand the possible causes of the dancing plague, we must examine the social, economic, and religious climate of 1518. Famine, disease, and hardship. Strasbourg and the surrounding regions were going through periods of severe hardship. Famine. The late 15th and early 16th centuries saw crop failures and food shortages across the region. Malnutrition and hunger were widespread. Plague and disease. Repeated outbreaks of the bubonic plague and syphilis devastated communities. Extreme poverty. The gap between the rich and the poor was widening, with peasants facing unbearable levels of stress. Religious fear and superstition. In the medieval world, religion played a central role in everyday life. Many people believed in divine punishment for sins and were deeply superstitious. Saint Vitus, the patron saint of epilepsy and dancing, was often invoked in cases of uncontrolled movement. Some believed the afflicted thought they were cursed by Saint Vitus's wrath, and that dancing was a form of penance or religious ecstasy. Political instability. Strasbourg was a free imperial city under the Holy Roman Empire, but it was far from stable. Class tensions were rising, and people's faith in the ruling class and the church was wavering. Witch hunts and heresy trials were increasing, adding to widespread paranoia. Theories behind the dancing plague. Historians, scientists, and psychologists have debated the causes of the dancing plague of 1518 for centuries. While no theory has been definitively proven, several possibilities have gained widespread support. Mass psychogenic illness, mass hysteria. One of the most widely accepted explanations is that the event was a case of mass psychogenic illness, MPI, also known as mass hysteria. What is mass psychogenic illness? MPI occurs when a group of people collectively exhibit physical symptoms that have no identifiable medical cause. Symptoms can be triggered by high levels of stress, fear, or trauma. It usually spreads in tightly knit communities where people share similar fears and beliefs. How does this apply to the dancing plague? The people of Strasbourg in 1518 were under immense social and economic stress. The widespread belief in Saint Vitus' curse could have triggered mass hysteria, making people feel compelled to dance. The contagious nature of hysteria could explain why hundreds joined in. People may have felt psychologically pressured to conform. Modern examples of mass hysteria. Mass psychogenic illness is not just a medieval phenomenon. Some modern examples include the Tanganyika laughter epidemic, 1962. A group of students in Tanzania began laughing uncontrollably, and the behavior spread to over 1,000 people. The West Bank fainting epidemic, 1983. More than 900 Palestinian schoolgirls suddenly began fainting, likely triggered by stress and political tensions. The June bug hysteria, 1962, USA. Workers in a textile factory began experiencing symptoms of dizziness and nausea, but no biological cause was found. This suggests that mass hysteria can manifest in different ways, including compulsive movement, such as the uncontrollable dancing in Strasbourg. Ergot poisoning, hallucinogenic fungus. Another popular theory is that the dancers had consumed ergot-contaminated rye, leading to hallucinations and convulsions. What is ergot? Ergot is a fungus that infects rye and other grains. It contains alkaloids similar to LSD, which can cause hallucinations, seizures, and psychotic behavior. Ergot poisoning, St. Anthony's fire, was common in medieval Europe. Does this explain the dancing plague? While ergot poisoning can cause tremors and hallucinations, it usually leads to muscle spasms, convulsions, and gangrene rather than coordinated dancing. This makes mass hysteria a more plausible explanation. Some historians believe the dancing plague was a form of religious mania. Why would people dance as a religious ritual? Medieval people were deeply superstitious and religious. Dancing was sometimes seen as a form of devotion or purification. Saint Vitus's legend suggested that people who angered him would be forced to dance uncontrollably. Was it a form of possession? Some accounts suggest that victims claimed to be possessed or moved involuntarily, similar to reports of demonic possession in other religious movements. Some modern medical researchers have suggested that the dancing plague may have been caused by a neurological disorder such as Sydenham's chorea, Saint Vitus dance, a movement disorder linked to streptococcal infections, causing uncontrollable jerking and dancing-like movements. Epilepsy or Parkinson's-like disorders. Some conditions cause involuntary movement and could have been misinterpreted. However, these conditions usually do not spread in large groups, making mass hysteria a stronger candidate. Final thoughts: the unsolved mystery. The dancing plague of 1518 remains one of the most bizarre and unexplained events in human history. While the mass hysteria theory is the most widely accepted, the lack of detailed medical records means we may never know the true cause. Key takeaways: it was not an isolated incident. Similar outbreaks occurred in 1374, 1428, and other years. The most likely explanation is mass hysteria, triggered by stress, fear, and religious belief. Ergot poisoning and neurological conditions are possible but less convincing explanations. Whether it was a social phenomenon, a supernatural curse, or a medical mystery, the dancing plague of 1518 continues to fascinate historians and scientists alike. Would you like me to explore other historical cases of mass hysteria or expand on a specific theory?